Look at that beautiful Christmas pound cake with the red and green and the beautiful gold and pearl decoration representing Christmas. Ooh la la, it's fancy. My name is Chef Fran, and today we're making Christmas pound cake. And you're probably like, what is that, Christmas pound cake? Well, what are our Christmas colors? Generally red and green, right? So it's a pound cake that has exactly that, red and green colors. And so it's my thing, but it makes it festive, and it's a delicious pound cake, and we're gonna do it together. So to make our wonderful pound cake, we need some sour cream, some cake flour, some eggs, some vanilla extract, baking soda as our leavening agent. These are commercial grade gel food coloring I have. But you can use whichever you can kind of get your hand on, McCormick. But this is Christmas red and forest green. Some Himalayan salt in here. Our eggs. Our sugar. I use cane sugar. Use whatever sugar you have at home. Not brown though. White or cane. And butter. Now we all know that pound cake takes a lot of butter and sugar. That's why it's so rich and good. And this is no different. And so to keep that cake moist, we're going to be using sour cream. Some people use yogurt. You can use that too, but we're using sour cream. Now here's a tidbit. If you don't have cake flour at home, you can make it yourself. You would take some all-purpose flour, 1 cup of all-purpose flour to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Hey, cornstarch is a great thing. Always keep it handy at home. You can do so many things with it. Not just to thicken your gravy, but it's used as a substitute for your cake flour. So 1 cup to 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to 1 cup of all-purpose flour to make cake flour if you want to make cake flour. Now, the reason I suggest cake flour is because it just kind of really makes your cake nice and moist, and it's not as heavy as just regular all-purpose flour. I, being a pastry chef and also a culinary chef, I love cake flour, but there's certain times, like when I would do big wedding cakes that had to be stacked, and you know, as you stack them, it's a lot of weight. It's difficult to really just use all cake flour because the cake is a little softer, and so when you're doing stacking, you need cake that's a little bit more denser. So we're gonna start with our butter. Enough talking, let's get to working. So 2 sticks of butter equals 1 cup of butter. So I'm just gonna kind of just break off my butter in here, and we're gonna cream that with that sugar. So we're gonna need about 5 to 7 minutes just straight creaming on medium high, because we want to get rid of that grainy taste of the sugar. So you really want to make that nice and fluffy before you start adding eggs or anything. And here's the other tidbit. Whenever you're doing baking and you have like some sort of like moistener, like in this case sour cream, or you have liquid that you're using, milk, whatever, you want to always, and here is 3 cups of sugar. That's why I use cane sugar, because it's not as sweet. It's sweet, but it's not as sweet as white sugar, and it's a tad bit healthier because it's a lot of sugar here. So you want to make sure that you start with flour and you end with flour, meaning I'm going to have flour when it's time to put it in, and then I'm going to do sour cream, then I'm going to do flour again and sour cream, but I have to end it with flour. You start and end with that product of flour. Okay, so we're going to start to begin, and it's going to take a while here. Okay, so we've creamed our butter and sugar. This is what it looks like. And we're going to add our eggs 1 by 1. So when I say 1 by 1, you literally want to take time and beat the eggs that you put in one by one. Okay, so we have now creamed our butter and sugar. See, that looks super soft and fluffy. So this is our butter and sugar. And now we're going to add our eggs one by one. And when I say one by one, I literally mean that you're going to take your time. So each egg that you put in, you're going to let it beat for a minute by itself, one egg, then the second egg the same. So there's 6 eggs here, so it's at least 6 minutes in beating just the eggs, and then we'll add our vanilla extract. Our flour already has our salt and our baking soda, which was 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda to 3 cups of flour. And here is our sour cream, which is 1 cup. And remember, we're going to start with flour and we're going to end with flour. So flour, sour cream, flour, sour cream, flour. Okay? So let's start here since this is all creamed up. And I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. And we're going to beat that for a minute. And then go back and do it again. So this looks beautiful. I'm going to let you see it in a minute. I'm now putting my capful of vanilla. All the eggs have already been put in here, so we're good there. And we're just going to whip this up. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll start with our flour and sour cream. So look how beautiful this creamed up. Really lovely. We haven't added our flour, which we're going to do right now. This is really beautifully beaten. The butter, sugar, vanilla, eggs, all in here. And now we're getting ready to start with. Now, let me let you know that our cake flour was already sifted. It was sifted, and it has the baking soda and a little bit of the salt. All was sifted with it, okay? And so now I am going to start with my flour, like I said, and beat that. I don't want to overbeat it. So I may actually, I may do this with my hands actually, because I don't really want to overbeat it. Just to kind of, you know, because last thing you want to do is overbeat a cake. So I'm actually going to put it back on because, yeah, I'm going to put it back on. Just whip it, stop, and add the sour cream. And again, stop, you know, and just continue back and forth until I'm done with all the flour. So I'm putting my last bit of sour cream in here. Because I said, like I said, we start with flour, we end with flour. So that's the flour I have left. So I want to get all the sour cream in here. And then we're going to separate the batter and color it. We're going to have red, almost like the Italian rainbow cookie I call petit four, because that's what it looks like, more cake-like. So we're going to separate it into 3 batters. Just simple, plain like this, and as well as red. We're going to color it red, and we're going to color it green. And I'm going to show you how we'll do that in 1 loaf pan. We're going to put some parchment paper to kind of separate them. Let's get the sour cream in here. Our last bit of sour cream, and then we're going to move on and do the last bit of flour, and then we can go to the fun part of coloring it, and then putting in our pan to bake. So we're going to make sure that's fully incorporated, and then we're going to put our last bit of flour in. Let's make sure we get our sides in. Now I'm doing mini pans, but however, this is great for 1 big loaf or a medium loaf, but we're going to have several minis here. And so here we go. The last bit of our flour here. Flour's all in. The fun part is coming. Coloring. Okay, so we put it down slowly. And you don't want to have flour all over you. So you start low. And then you gradually increase it as it begins to be incorporated so you don't have flour all over yourself. We'll get back to this as soon as it's time for us to separate the bowls and color. Look how smooth our batter is. Look at that. Looks like soft serve ice cream, doesn't it? Just beautiful and smooth. So this is not going to get colored. This is going to stay plain. This one here. And these two are going to get some color in them. This is our Christmas red. Kind of want it really red. That's why you see them squeezing. And this, I'm not going to go as heavy because I don't really like this forest green, but it is the only green that kind of came with my commercial kit. So let's mix this first. A pretty marble effect, right? Look at that, guys. Okay. So, gonna gently fold it. Okay, so this is how our Christmas cake looks like. We have green, middle is the plain, beige color, and then red, or red, beige color, green. And so these are parchment paper that I just put to kind of help separate them. And so I'm going to gently pull them out here. So that way they don't bleed over. Okay.
Here's our vitamin content for our Christmas pound cake. Butter, vitamin A, B12, D, E, and K2. Cane sugar, A, B1, B2, B6, C, niacin, pantothenic acid. Eggs, A, B2, B5, B6, B12, E, D, K, and iron. Cake flour, riboflavin, niacin, thiamine, selenium, copper, zinc, iron, and phosphorus. Baking soda, small amounts of calcium and phosphorus. Himalayan salt, calcium, iron, magnesium, and potassium. Sour cream, A, D, E, and K. Vanilla extract, B1, B2, B3, B5, B6. Real facts. There are 28 counties in the U.S. that are majority Native American. 18 of those counties have high food insecurity rates. Some tribes face food insecurity rates at 20%. You can learn more by visiting us at jdhcdc.org.
Chef and fam, do you see this beautiful pound cake? Who says pound cake has to just be boring? Just your regular pound cake. No, we could jazz things up, especially with the holidays, people being tight on cash. Food gifts always work, even though people always talk about, oh, the pounds. They want some comfort. And what's more comforting than a pound cake? And making a decadent pound cake that represents Christmas with the Christmas colors and giving it a nice uplift with the gold and pearl decoration to it. Let's go ahead and let's taste it. Let me put my gloves on since I am going to be doing ready to eat food here. Get my gloves on. Alright, so let me see. Move this out the way. Just want to get a piece so we can eat it together. Actually, let me put on my other gloves because I may have to touch it a little bit more. There we go. So if I have to touch it, being the fact other people are going to eat this, and now it is, RTE, ready to eat food, want to make sure it's all right. Okay, here we go. Just to have a little slither, a little slice, makes everything nice. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Do you see the red, the plain, the green? Oh my gosh, look how so soft, so moist. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, I want you to see this. I want you to see this. Like, I am not lying to you. Look how moist this is. Check this out. Look how moist this is. You can see it right in here, how moist this is. Let's eat our pound cake. Let's taste it. Wow. Look at that. The moistness. Really good. Now, this pound cake was babysat, loved on, because it took a while to make it. But it's worth every piece. Wow. Just right. Worth the time. Worth the baking time. Worth the preparation time. All I did was make a glaze and decided to jazz it up and decorate it with gold and pearl. This is totally beautiful. Want you see? Touching it. Look at that. But even a glass of Moscato would be nice with this. So good. So the sour cream really adds to the element of the moistness. And of course, all that time in babying it and prepping it and loving on it. So here's our call to action. So good. Don't forget to click the like button by giving us a virtual hug. When you do that, it lets myself and my team know that you're enjoying what we're doing. And it allows us to go back to our thinking lab of what else can we do for you. See, I always tell you that cooking is about passion. Baking is the same, and baking even more so. It's about recreating the wheel or making the wheel new. Seriously. You just have a little love and a little bit of passion, you can make anything. And a little patience too, particularly for baking. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. If you have not subscribed already, please do so. And share this channel with your family and friends. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. We welcome you here with open arms and great big hugs. Thank you for eating this pound cake with me virtually, as I ate it physically. And I'd love for you to be able to try this and let me know how it worked out for you. Comment below, we do answer. Thank you again so much. Love you guys. Bye.